Well, hello everybody and welcome to Chef's Baking Blog. Today I'm making a very simple recipe, lemon sablé biscuits. So sablé is a French type of biscuit, and these are going to be flavoured with lemon and a little bit of lemon glaze on the top. So I'll go straight on to the ingredients. And for this I have 180 grams, which is 1 cup plus 3 tablespoons based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup of plain flour. I have 70 grams, 2/3 of a cup of ground almonds, 85 grams, 3/4 of a cup of icing sugar, 200 grams, 14 tablespoons of cold unsalted butter, the white from 1 medium egg, 3 grams, half a teaspoon of salt, the zest from 1 lemon, and 15 milliliters, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. That's for the biscuits. And then for the glaze, I have 55 grams, half a cup of icing sugar, and another 15 milliliters, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So that's all the ingredients, and we need to go straight on to make our biscuit dough. And I'm going to do this in the processor bowl of my immersion blender. So I'm going to put my flour in and the ground almonds and the icing sugar. Now my icing sugar is a little bit lumpy. You could sift it, but I'm not going to. I'm simply going to process that to break up those lumps a little bit. And that's good enough. So I'm going to add in my salt, and my lemon zest, and I'll just give that a quick pulse as well. And then I'm going to add in my cold butter, and I'm going to process it again, pulsing it to start with, until the butter has broken down into the dry ingredients, and it sort of, everything resembles a sort of coarse sand. And that's good enough, but it's actually started to clump a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my lemon juice and most of my egg white, which I have beaten just to loosen it up. I'll hold a little bit back in case I don't need it. I'm going to process that until it clumps together into a dough. So that's quickly processed into a dough. It's very soft. I could have added just a little bit less egg, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that out onto a floured surface and form it into a disc so that I can wrap it up and chill it. And that's a very soft dough, as you can see. But I'm going to wrap that up in plastic wrap and put it into the fridge, and I'm going to chill it for at least an hour. And when it's firm enough, I'll come back, we'll roll it out, I'll cut out the cookies, chill them again, and then bake them. So I've taken out about a quarter of my dough, and I left mine in the fridge for actually for about 4 hours because it was very soft, and I wanted the butter to firm up in the dough because it's very hot in the kitchen today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll that out to a thickness of about 1/4 of an inch. And if it cracks, I will just push it back together again. It's because it's so cold. But I need to work with this while it's quite cold. You could flour the surface, but I sometimes think plastic wrap works that little bit better. And with that rolled out, I have a baking tray which I've lined with some parchment paper. And I'm going to cut out 2.5 inch, about 6 centimetre discs with a scalloped edge, like that. I'm going to lift those up and put it on the baking tray, and I will re-roll the pastry to get more. So I've rolled out and cut out 24 there, and I've put the pastry back in the fridge, and I have enough for, I think, about another 6 or so. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those trays into the fridge, and I'm going to chill them for another 30 minutes. And during that 30 minutes, I'll preheat my oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And then I will put these into the oven and I will bake them. And I'll bake them for about 14 minutes until the edges just begin to turn a little bit brown. Then I'll take them out of the oven, transfer them to a wire rack and allow them to cool down. And once they've cooled down, I'll come back and we can make the glaze to go on the top. Now I should say this is a very, very soft dough, and so take your time and keep putting it back into the fridge if you need to chill it so that you can work with it. But I'll be back once these have cooked and we're ready to glaze them. I baked my lemon sablé biscuits for 14 minutes, and they did begin to brown around the edge, so I took them out of the oven and put them onto a wire rack, and they've cooled down now, so I'll show you what they look like and we'll make the icing. So I have 24 here and another 6 on the side which are still cooling down, and they baked up quite nicely, nice and crisp. So I'll just put those to one side and get my icing sugar and my tablespoon of lemon juice, and I'm going to mix that together . And as I said, I didn't sift my icing sugar and it's lumpy, so I'm going to stir this until those lumps dissolve. And this is quite a loose glaze, as you can see. And that's good enough. So then I'm going to brush that lightly over the top of each of the biscuits. Just to give a light coating. This is just going to give it, the biscuits, just that little bit of extra flavour. And with them brushed with the glaze, I'm just going to leave them for a few minutes so that that icing can set up on the top. It will dry out very quickly. And then I'll come back and we'll have a taste. So my biscuits have let that icing set up now. I've left them for maybe 10 minutes or so. And I have to say they look quite good. With just that thin coat of icing. And the underside looks good too. Nicely baked, as you can see. So I'll have a taste of one. The biscuit has a lovely texture to it. It has that crunch, but it's very, very tender. And that, I think, is the almond flour or the ground almonds that's incorporated into the dough. With a nice lemon flavour, which is enhanced by that thin coating of icing on the top. So these are an easy biscuit to make, but I should warn you, the dough is very soft. And so the best thing to do is to leave it in the fridge until it is hard. And I actually mean it's set quite firm. Then divide it into 4 pieces and keep 3 in the fridge as you work with 1. And any time the dough gets too soft to work, put it back in the fridge. And really that's all there is to it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.